the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Tuesday podcast.
Hello.
Mate, today I learnt a new word in the music industry. I never heard of it before, but the green banana is when a festival books in an act, right, from way out, and then that act explodes.
Right.
And just as they get to the festival, they're huge. And probably the small stage that you've put them on at the festival is not enough anymore.
Wow.
We have some amazing footage of Billie Eilish at the Reading Festival in 2019.
Okay.
They booked her before she blew up, and it was just out of control. We've got some other acts as well that you can hear in the podcast. The opening acts that were actually bigger than the headliners.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
UFC. You know what? I watch these guys, and they are the ultimate. It's the ultimate fighting championship, UFC, but it is also they are the ultimate athletes. The exhaustion and what they put their bodies through. Like, I mean, when's Volkanovski coming on the show? He's a new world champion. At the age of 35, he trained for 16 weeks. And remember, he was telling us, Whip, that training's harder than the actual fight on the day because you go to exhaustion. Yeah. When have we got him, Tommy?
He's co-hosting from 8:30 on Friday.
Oh, great. Love that, Tommy.
It's got to have an effect on your body, though, doesn't it?
Well, you'd say so. I mean, a while ago they introduced, Fitz, if you remember, chess boxing. So you would have a round of boxing. So round one, ding, ding. And then you would sit down after round one and you had to make a move on the chessboard and there was just a little table and chair set up. Then they'd move it off. Round two of the boxing starts. And as they went on, they just couldn't compute how to play chess.
Yes. Well, this is the other thing as well. And this is not a good thing, but the head knocks that you get, it has to have an effect on you. There's been a video that's been going around of Tito Ortiz. Now, Jacob Christopher Tito Ortiz is a retired American mixed martial artist.
Okay.
He was a great fighter. He was huge in the UFC. He doesn't fight anymore. He's 50 years of age. But this is when he was fighting, though. I mean, these were some of his best bits. He spoke really fast, Whip, and he tried to get everyone up and going before the fight and stuff like that. But obviously, he's had a few head knocks. Here's his first one that he got away with.
I came in here 110% mental. That's about 100% of this game.
Okay.
So he 110% mental. That's about 100% of this game.
Good.
Here's another one from Tito.
Sam says he's going to knock me out with devastating fashion. He got some big words to fulfill those shoes.
He's got some big words to fulfill those shoes. I like this guy. He's an artist.
This is one of my favourites. This was before a big match.
I'm a totally different person than I was 12 years ago. I'm faster, I'm stronger, I'm younger.
Awesome. I'm younger.
I'm a totally different fighter than I was 15 years ago. I'm younger.
Awesome.
Then he went into commentating, Whip. After he finished, he did some commentating in the ring.
Makes sense.
And he would interview the fighters after the fight. Have a listen to this question.
I want to tell me what you see. Let's go ahead and see by the fight what you saw in the ring.
What are you saying, mate? Do you know where you are? I'm glad it was a natural step for someone that can't talk to go into commentary.
Here's another one from Tito.
You fans tune in. I never let you down till now. I won't start.
Awesome.
You fans tune in. Can we play that one again, Jess? Because it was hard.
You fans tune in. I never let you down till now. I won't start.
Well, you have started.
I'll never let you down until now. This one, there's a fair bit. We were talking about the one before where he's mixing up a few, but this is one of the best.
This guy can't even put a sentence together, man. He's reaching for those grapes. He's trying to make his wine, and the wine's already sounding like a violin with that cheese and wine.
What's going on? How much wine have you drunk, Tito?
And also, this is my favourite because you ask how hard does a UFC fighter train, and Tito tells us.
5 days a week, I'll train 3 days a week. One of those days, I will train 2 days of the week. So 6 days a week I'll be training.
That That is how hard he is training.
Add all those days up, mate.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Do you know what I learnt the other day in the music industry?
Tell me something interesting.
So when a music festival, right, when they book in a band, because they'll organise the festival, let's say 9 months to a year out.
Right.
There's a fair bit of planning that goes into it. But if they book in a band or an artist whip, and then that artist blows up in between, right, so they might release an album and they go to the next level. It's called a green banana. You get the band as a green banana.
Oh, okay.
Right, so, and then when they get to the festival, they're ripe.
Oh, I get what you mean. So you got it at the freshest, pre-fresh, pre-ripeness, and then it comes into season.
So, for an example, this blows my mind, but the Reading Festival in 2019 got this young act that was coming up. They'd heard about her and they were like, oh my gosh, this girl is unbelievable. We need to book her into the festival. Her crowd was bigger than the headliner on the day at the Reading Festival. Her name was Billie Eilish.
Wow.
Have a listen to the crowd. So she's on a smaller stage. This is 29. She's playing bad guy. Have a listen to the crowd.
Oh, gives me goosebumps.
Doesn't it give you goosebumps?
God, she's good.
It's just chockers. You can't get anywhere near it.
So would P. Diddy be like a brown mouldy banana in reverse fits if you book somebody that then gets cancelled? What do they call that? Not a green banana, but sort of a only for smoothies banana?
It's a rotten peach. Here's another one for you.
What do you got?
Lewis, I just needed to play this one because we were talking about sing-alongs also at festivals, but Lewis Capaldi, and we know if you've seen his documentary, unbelievable. Like he's Tourette's syndrome, he's also, mental problems, but so this was at Glastonbury in 2023, so only a couple of years ago. Lewis got up there and he's singing one of his hit songs and the Tourette's kicked in and the poor bugger just couldn't sing. And the crowd take over the song. Wow. Have a listen to Lewis Capaldi. This was a huge crowd as well. He couldn't sing, Whip. He couldn't sing. And he stood there on stage, emotional, as everyone sang his song back to him.
Oh, my God.
Isn't it? It's unbelievable. The other big one, for an act that was on a smaller stage and probably outdid the headliner on the day, was 1995, and there was 3 young kids from Newcastle. Their name was Silverchair. They booked the big day out. This is a massive the biggest green banana in Australia was the big day out, the first ever big day out. They booked Nirvana before Nevermind the album came out.
Yeah, that's just a banana plant without any bananas. It hasn't even started growing. It's like a banana palm.
Then in 1995, Silverchair blew up, and they booked them in for the. Well, this is just unbelievable. So this is Sahara Herald. Sahara worked on the big day out for a very long time, but they put Silverchair on a tiny stage at the big day out, and things just got out of control.
Like with Nirvana, Ken and Viv got lucky. They booked Silverchair just before they blew up.
They were massive, and the stage was, in hindsight, probably too small for them. Well, too small for the audience, and the stage was being overrun. And there's this photo of me crouched next to a Silverchair road case with a radio, and it kind of looks cool, but what in reality is happening? I'm calling for help. Like, I'm on the radio going, hey, we've got a problem.
Awesome.
So kids started climbing roofs of houses around, and then trees. It got really, really dangerous. You can actually hear Daniel Johns at the start of their set pointing out the guys that were in the trees.
Can I give you one more?
Keep moshing. You up in the tree, that's good moshing in the tree. We've never seen that before.
God, how young does he sound? Oh. Can I give you one, Fitz? This was an artist by the name of Lady Gaga, and she was supporting a group called the Pussycat Dolls in 2007. We then cut to 2 nights ago, Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana Beach, Brazil. 2.5 million people on the beach. This is what it sounds like. Unbelievable, the drone footages. God, it's spectacular.
Audio's not that good. But I would dare say that the Pussycat Dolls will get 2.5 million to it at a concert, mate. So I don't...
If we can get him in the one room.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We do adore this man. This is a big one because he's a part of the Vivid Ideas program. Tickets for the Australian Dream are available now at vividsydney.com, but you can go see Rosso at the State Library of New South Wales. What a special building that is. And he joins us now. Rosso, welcome!
Oh, g'day. You know what happened?
Yeah.
A little bit late to come in here because I text Maddie, your producer, and she's on her honeymoon.
Of course.
And I felt so bad about it.
Did she reply?
She did reply, and she said, I'll get someone else. And I said, I'm so bad. And then I felt really bad about it. But I texted her on a honeymoon, and then I checked the time zone for Dapto, and it's okay. So.
Hasn't lost it. Rosso, stick around. Well done to all those in Dapto this morning.
What kind of music were you introducing back in then? When Nova first started, we were sounds different, Rosso. Like, I mean, can you give us the range of music that you were actually introducing? Because you were the
Lighthouse, Living on a... What was that one?
Living on a Prayer.
Hanging on a Moment.
Hanging on a Moment.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Weedus.
Oh, Teenage Dirtbag.
Yep.
And there was shitloads of Darude.
Really? Can you get too much, though?
Like, you can't get enough Sandstorm. Like, you know.
Sandstorm.
Like, and you know, you'd come in, people would come in, can I blow the whistle for Darude?
Yeah.
Oh, man. But you were like, we were playing Pearl
Big in the
Jam,
clubs.
Foo Fighters. It was all over the shop, the music, wasn't it?
Live, there was a lot of that.
Yep.
Shaggy was big.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't me. Remember that one?
I told
Timeless.
you when we started down in Adelaide, when Nova first started, American Rosso, Sherbet, American Rosso were the first. Well, they were the first voices that you heard on air in South Australia, and we had Missy Higgins Whip perform Scar in the studio for us.
Okay.
That was a big day.
Do you know what? When we started at Nova, they still had the no more than 2 ads in a row policy. Now, as for somebody that was on air or in the studio, that was a nightmare.
Because you couldn't go out to the bathroom.
I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't leave the studio to get food, Rosso. I was starving in the studio, wetting myself.
Do you know
Not from laughter.
We were on, when they had the 2 ads in the row, this is one for the media fans out there.
Okay.
Right? So I can't remember what year it was, but they called a general election. And so the government has, or the parties have so much money to spend.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you've only got 2 ads in a row, there's only so many ads that you can put on.
Yes,
of course.
And it was full. So there was all this money.
Shockers.
And they couldn't sandwich it in.
Right.
And I was in a meeting. I don't know why I was there, but I suggested that they could sponsor some competitions.
Okay.
So you could do a thing like, you know, guess how many people we can put into a barina.
Yep.
Sponsored by the ALP.
Yeah.
No one thought it was a good idea. always on the revenue.
Weren't
I was
you
always on the
thinking
revenue.
of the bottom line? Thank
Can
you, Rosso.
When Nova was, I mean, there was a period there when you first started, you guys went to number one, and money and budgets were huge. Can you tell us what the biggest extravagance the American Rosso show did? Like, did you do anything? Did you take the team out anywhere? Did you do anything that was like, wow, we've made it?
Yeah, there was plenty of them, actually. Which one do you want to hear the story about how we got the helicopter to the Blue Mountains?
Awesome.
Is that what
Yes, please. Yes, please. Did you really?
We got it, yeah. At the time, what had happened was I was an ambassador for Volkswagen, and I'd been on and I'd been on a helicopter to the Blue Mountains as part of a Volkswagen day.
Yeah.
And it was a sweet ride.
Great.
Yeah, and so there was a restaurant in the Blue Mountains that was quite popular at the time, and I thought, let's all go there, and then we'll get the helicopter. We needed 2.
Book the choppers.
2 helicopters for the team.
Because Rosso, you know what's funny?
Because the best bit was, right, so they had... Something had happened. They'd increased our budget for the entertainment budget for a couple of reasons, right? And so we were like, they said, well, we got to give you more money to take the team out because things are going well.
Okay.
And it was when the station was like pumping. We were everything's number one. We're everywhere, we're top of the pops.
Yep. Yeah.
And, it was rivers of gold. And so we were doing things like, we go to the Blue Mountains in a helicopter, get limousines back. Oh, lunch. Oh, Grange, never tried that before. Let's get 2. Let's buy it with Coke. And then
let's buy Michael Jackson's chimpanzee, Bubbles.
Yeah,
Merrick did that as well.
And so we get to the end of the year. The station has been number 1 for the whole year. It's Christmas party time.
Yep.
Everyone's really excited. And then they announce that we're having a Christmas party at this really shitty sailing club with cask wine because they've taken the Christmas party money, halved it and given it to us. So everyone's standing around drinking cheap white wine going, we've worked hard all this year because we're taking the helicopter.
And then you arrived in a helicopter to the Christmas party.
West Coast callers.
Oh. Do you know what's funny? On a broader topic though, Rosso, on a broader topic of things that happened back in the day that you can't do now, in the office yesterday we had a meeting about a car promotion and we said, we couldn't do that one we did downstairs again, could we? I said, which one are you talking about, Tommy? He said, you know where we tried to get as many nude people as possible into a barina or something like that, and there were bits and bums and all sorts of holes hanging out of and pressed against glass. I think we had 13 nude people
because
in
they love it and they want to do it.
Yeah.
We had a competition where it was like the idea was to do something that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the idea was that to lose, you have to come into the station and serve people in a see-through apron, completely naked. And this dude with red hair and pubes of fire won. And he was we couldn't get him out of the joint. There was like sexual harassment. It's like, dude, you got to go now.
He
I'm having a
panel
good
up.
time. Other people haven't served yet.
Do you know the other one that I remember that we took off you on our show was Lick It. Do you remember Lick It?
What was Lick It?
You had to lick something to win the prize, Rosso, and they were licking like... They were licking sponges that had been in the kitchen for 6 months, and it was like crazy some of the stuff we were getting people to lick just to win a prize.
All right, this is your media podcast if you're listening, guys.
Rosso's stuck around. If you want to go see Rosso, this is going to be awesome. It's the Australian Dream, State Library of New South Wales. It's on June 12th. It's part of the Vivid Ideas program. Do you know what? I think the Australian dream is just as prevalent these days than it's ever been before because it is. It's harder to get to, but to have your own home is still very important to Australians, Rosso.
You can't escape it, can we? It's so deeply embedded in who we are to own a house. But just sadly so more expensive. But I always think it's interesting because there's a lot of talk, and rightly so, about affordability. And one of the things I talk about in the show is that one of the houses that I look at back from the 1960s, the idea was to make houses affordable, and you could buy that house for the price of 2 cars. And so in today's money, that's a 3-bedroom house for $150,000.
That is crazy, man.
And now that same house is a price of like 19 cars.
And you had a backyard.
You had a backyard. But that's the thing. Everyone goes, but they were so much cheaper then. But the house I grew up in, it had an asbestos roof.
Beautiful.
It cost parents nothing. One day we had a tree fell on the roof, and my old man got me and my brothers up there to take it off. And then he said, we better just sand back this asbestos.
Sand back. With as many shards as possible in the air we can.
And we didn't have, like, our house, they were also a bit rubbish. Like, our house didn't have any insulation. And and it was cold. I got from Melbourne, it was so cold. And then just me and my brothers, to get warm, you'd have to stand near the open fire in flammable pyjamas.
Yeah.
Melting to your legs.
Well, see, Rosso, where we lived growing up, we had two fences, and I never understood why in the backyard. So one fence was higher than the other, the inside fence. And I asked Mum and Dad later in life, why did we have two fences at the old house? And Dad said we bought it off a couple who ran a nudist colony. So they would have parties in the backyard, and they built another fence so nobody could see into that area when they had the nude parties.
Oh, my God. Your dad was hanging on to every dream possible, wasn't he?
Living next door to the nudists.
The other thing about the Australian dream and the idea of what you talk about, and as we go back in and look at some of the houses that have dated beautifully now that the circle is complete again, is it looks simple. Life feels simple when you look back, and that'll continue to happen, and today will look simple in 20 years' time. And I think that's what people are drawn to as well.
Oh, 100%.
Freedom.
When we're talking about my dad at his funeral, right? And we're talking about the things that he did when we were kids, and he would like be in some theatre group. He was a church he would as a Sunday school teacher. He was in the local Apex club. He'd do all these things, and he was a reasonable dad. You know, he did spend time with us, and he played tennis and he squash and he run with people. And you go, how did he do all this stuff? It's because his job, the phone didn't ring after 5 o'clock.
No.
He would get up in the morning, he'd go to work, and then he'd come home. And he literally, it was like severance. He wouldn't think about it until he got into work the next day.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And so that we've loaded up our lives.
Yeah.
And also we did, they probably didn't bother watching kids play sport.
But you also had more of a structure, because you would come home and you knew that dinner was a certain time. So as a kid, you'd go and play in the street until dinner was ready.
Yeah.
And then, because you didn't get to choose what time you watched something, you knew Neighbours was on at 7 o'clock or 6:30, and then Home and Away or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So everything was kind of routine.
You wouldn't binge anything. Like they used to talk about, like I used to do a show on Channel 9 that was on at 10:30 at night. And in certain places in the country, the ratings would fall off the cliff in Brisbane because at after whatever show was on at 9:30, people just go to bed.
Yeah.
Now people go, I'm just going to stay up forever
because I can.
Just on the death scroll.
Yeah. Brain rot.
Yeah. Will we ever go back to the architecture that we had, Rosso? I know you, and I know this hurts you a lot now, but we modernise everything so much now. We need more space. We need all this. I mean, land's harder to find, but do you reckon we'll ever go back to that more affordable housing and that old architecture at some stage? You do, like Whip said, it's a circular thing that comes around and fashions and stuff like that, but will we try to modernise more and more and it will get worse?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen here in Sydney is some of the suburbs where they're going to density and the buildings are going to go up, which they have to, and there's nothing wrong with that. They've just got to be better apartments.
Yes.
But we lose some of the heritage in the name of progress in terms of we need to, when the population doubles, we need places for people to live. And we can keep pushing out, and we can do those sites where we just housing development after housing development. But you need schools, public transport for all that sort of stuff.
Of course.
And more people want to live in apartments. That's the biggest change that's happened since I was a kid, is that people like living near the beach. You want to live near where the action is. I was at Rhodes the other day, and you go, that's a great place to live. You can walk to the shopping centre. You're close to the football stadium. You're close to all those things. There's great amenity there. And that's probably better than half of the suburbs with a home on an eighth of a quarter.
Yeah, sure.
Rosso, how old's your house? How old's your house that you live in? When was that built?
Late 1950s.
Late 1950s, and you haven't hardly changed that. It's the original. What's the best thing about that? What's the best time of day for you? What's the best thing about your house that you sit down and you go, I love this place so
when
much?
my children go to school and I don't have to see them.
Perfect. Silence. Could be anywhere, just the silence.
It's very simple. So the front of my house is a wall of glass, basically, and so the cops the morning sun. It's not a big house by any stretch of the imagination. It's in many ways it's about the size of a large apartment, but because it's got those big windows, it feels bigger. And we're blessed in this city to have an extraordinary climate where we can spend more of the year outside. And so if you got a house where you can just go out to a little courtyard and sit in the sun, that's all we need. We don't need much.
Magic. Rosso, thank you for coming in.
Go to vividsydney.com if you want to go get tickets for the Australian Dream. He is a talent. We love you, Rosso. Thank you very very much for coming in, mate.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Sunday is Mother's Day, so we thought we'd jump in a couple of days earlier and organise a beautiful Mother's Day lunch for this Friday.
Actually, Moonpig, it's pretty amazing, these personalised cards. It's a great way to look after your mum. You send in photos, videos. They can help you with your message as well, and then they send it out. You can create your masterpiece at moonpig.com. But they said, why don't you guys, we will look after you and throw a beautiful Mother's Day lunch this Friday. All we want you to do is get people to sit down and think about your mum and what they mean to you and write a beautiful message for your mother.
Do you know, Moonpig too fits. They're going to put a gift bag together for everybody involved in Mother's Day lunch for the wonderful mums, including cards and chocolate fudge cookies and also jam ration pack. 3 luxury jams included in that Mother's Day kit that you will receive as a guest of ours on Friday.
What's your favourite? Apricot would have to be my favourite.
No. Strawberry or raspberry.
Oh, there you go.
Not apricot, mate.
It's at the Hacienda Bar and Lounge. It's the Pullman Quay Grand Sydney Harbour. But you just need to register on the Nova Player app or go to novafm.com.au like Christy has in Engadine. Hi, Christy.
Hey, guys. How you going?
Yeah, good, Christy.
Do you mind?
That's good.
Do you mind if you could share what you've written about your mum? What's your mum's name?
Her name's Tracy.
Trace.
Can you?
Good old
can you,
Trace.
Yeah.
Can you read out what you wrote about Trace for us?
Okay, I'll try and do the shortened version. Okay, here we go. Mum, you're the strongest person I know. I'm so impressed by the courage and determination you've shown recently with everything you're going through. Your advice and guidance has gotten me through many challenges in my life. You're my best friend, and I'm so lucky to also call you my mum. I love you so much.
That's beautiful. Christy, I don't want to ask too many personal questions, but is Mum okay? Is everything on track?
Yeah, she's having a bit of adversity at the moment with her employer.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so on medical leave at the moment, but she's doing okay.
Okay.
Well, this is perfect for her to unwind, isn't it? To sit around and you can meet some amazing mums. You're going to meet our mums as well, Christine.
Awesome.
And also,
and how did they ask how they put up with you guys for so long?
Well,
Right?
you can ask them on the day, Christy. Mums of the world. Yes, our mums will be. I've got plenty of questions for Claire Fitzgerald. My God, they don't stop.
I mean, she's weathered at the moment, my mum. I tell you what she's had to put up with the old Ryan Fitzgerald over the years. But do you know what? She's so pumped, mate. Actually, BJ's, how good's this? My wife has found her a dress.
Oh, isn't that
and
lovely?
They were apparently trying it on the other day. Mum, look, I probably
Well, she's not going to go the leathers again.
Well, she was. Well, it is. It's a leather dress, which is unbelievable, and the leather mask. I said that's probably too much, Mum.
Sweaty.
Undo the zip. I can't. I don't know what you're replying with. But no, they are very, very excited. So we get to sit down and ask a few questions, and it'll be great.
Christy's going to be there.
Write a message for your mum, register on the Nova Player app or at novafm.com.au, and we could be calling you back tomorrow.
I love it, guys. Make her Mother's Day with a personalised card from Moonpig. Create your masterpiece at moonpig.com.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
It started with Ricki-Lee at the Overlook Hotel, and then that girl right now, Gracie Abrams in Auckland. This is Nova's Red Room Global Tour, guys. Then we took off to LA to see Lauren Spencer-Smith, and of course, Vegas, Post Malone, Jelly Roll.
Can I just say, some of the experiences that you can do through Nova at the moment, we've got Bruno Mars in Las Vegas coming up. You just need to get on the show at any time to actually get into the running for that. But to experience the Nova Global Red Room Tour...
Do you know how I would describe Nova? A launch pad to the greatest experiences on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we write that down, please,
Put it
Tom?
on a T-shirt, Tommy.
Well,
Nova is a launch pad to the best thing you will ever do in your life.
You're on fire.
Put that on Ricki-Lee's business card because she joins us now from Los Angeles. Ricki-Lee!
Yeah, and she is flying business class as well, Fitzy. You're spot on.
Friends.
In fact,
Good morning, friends. How are you?
there'd be some ranking in the team. I would suggest Ricki-Lee out of the three of you up the front. First class all the way for Ricki-Lee.
Oh, come on. We're going to play around, are we?
No, we're not. But I mean, to me, that feels right.
Ricki-Lee,
No, I was just going to say, Whip, you're not travelling up the back.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm your everyday man.
Absolute no
you're
chance.
not.
Absolutely no chance. Now, Ricki-Lee, you haven't just gone on the Red Room Global Tour. You've had an unbelievable experience. Can we just go through your itinerary and some of your highlights so far?
Of course. It's been we started in Sydney, and I got to play the first show kicking off the entire global Red Room tour, which was amazing. And the coolest thing is that we've had listeners from all over Australia that were flown to Sydney first. We did that first show, and I got to perform for everyone. Then the next morning we all jumped on a plane and we all went to New Zealand, and we got to go and watch Gracie Abrams at Spark Arena, which was incredible. And before the show, Tim, Joel and I got to have a chat with her and hang out with her, and she's just beautiful and chill and awesome. And, even just that for the listeners was such an incredible experience that then we got on another plane and went to LA and got to LA, and we got to see Lauren Spencer-Smith, who, if you're not already a fan of her, she's one of the most incredible vocalists, singers and songwriters that I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm such a huge fan of her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got to see her in a beautiful, intimate Red Room, and then we got to sit down and chat with her. We got to talk to Benny Blanco and do a Q&A with all of our listeners who wrote all of your favourite songs from Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Ed Sheeran. He did that whole Castle on the Hill, all of those amazing songs. And then we had a night off in LA. And little fangirl Coulter over here got to head out to SoFi Stadium and watch Beyonce, and a bunch of the listeners came along.
Awesome.
Wow.
Show 2 of the Cowboy Carter World Tour, which was really, really cool. Man. A bunch of people went to see the Lakers. Yeah. And then we jumped on a plane and went to Vegas and went to see Jelly Roll and Post Malone, and then after that show, we went to see Dom Dolla. It's just been the most incredible.
You guys must be cooked.
Whirlwind of a week. So cooked. I'm so tired, but it's we're going to do the show this afternoon and then jump on the plane and come home, and we'll be back in the studio tomorrow. But it's been amazing.
Since you landed in Vegas, can you just confirm for me you've had eyes on Tim Blackwell? You do know where he is?
Oh, he's never out of my sight, that guy. Come on.
News. Okay, that is good news. Don't let him off the leash.
I feel like a real mother. I mean, Joel's the hardest one to wrangle. She loves sleeping in and losing her. Chaotic Creasy is a real thing. She's losing AirPods, losing luggage. Awesome. No idea Joel has no idea where he is at any point in time, but that's what we love about him. But it's been incredible.
Well, it's over 20 years ago when we first saw you on television, Ricki-Lee, and it's unbelievable to think, to go on a trip like that. I mean, even if you weren't in the position that you're in now, as a listener, imagine winning that prize, Ricki-Lee, that the listeners must have been. I mean, this is something they'll never, ever forget.
They'll never forget. And we had when we landed in LA last night, we were so delayed from Vegas. We actually had to do our show yesterday afternoon from the car going from LAX to the hotel. But then we had dinner with all of the listeners afterwards. And every step of the way, it's just been incredible, and every single one of them is stopping us and just saying how, this is a life-changing experience that we've been able to give them and that we get to experience with them. And, these are people who, some of them haven't left where they live. They haven't left Australia. They haven't ventured out, and this is just so amazing for them, and they're so grateful and so thankful. And,
do you know what?
It's just really amazing that we get to kind of be there and experience it
one
with them.
One last thing to do with the listeners, all of you straight down to the tattoo parlour and get some sort of Red Room.
Absolutely not. My body is a temple whipper.
So
Absolutely
true.
not.
So true. How dare I suggest that?
Make sure you tune in.
I had pizza for breakfast yesterday in the airport. My body is not a temple.
Go, you good thing.
Make sure you tune in to Ricki-Lee, Tim and Joel. Back from 4 today to get all the updates there. Thank you so much for coming on, Ricki-Lee. Appreciate it.
Always. I'll see you guys when we're back tomorrow.
See you, buddy. Get home safely.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about the top Aussie companies for work perks. And if you get some work, what's your little work perk that they give you at work? 13 24 10. I'd love to hear from you, because nearly 1 in 10 Aussies switched jobs in the past year alone. So this is some of the biggest companies around Australia have had to ramp up employee perks in an effort to retain their workers. We need you to stay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through a few of them here, which is pretty interesting. I mean, holidays is a big one for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people want to go on holidays. I think the real estate group, REA Group, they offer 20 weeks leave at full pay.
Do they?
That's not bad. That's your 5 weeks right there.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Qantas employees, they get access to heavily discounted standby flights, so that's the big one for them. Plus, I didn't know this, you get 25% off confirmed Qantas flights.
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
The standby flights are the tough one because you're always going, are we going to get on the standby flight? But you also get 25% off there.
Mate, that's an awesome deal.
Commonwealth Bank employees get 5 days of life leave a year as an incentive.
Is that the same as Nova's Doona Day? Where if things just aren't working for you today and you need to take an emotional one, by all means, stay under the doona on your Doona Day.
Santos employees, they have a 9-day fortnightly roster. That might get me over the line.
Yeah, sure.
If you know that you're going to have a long weekend every second week, that's not bad. What else do we have here? Whitehaven Coal employees receive an impressive referral bonus of up to $4,000. So if you refer someone who is a technical operational employee and they go, he's pretty good, they'll give you $4,000.
Bang,
Thanks for that.
We have a bit of an incentive here on level 3, I can announce. We have the My Muscle Chef vending machine. For your healthy meals, well planned and programmed.
You got to pay for them.
Yeah, you do, but you've got access to them. See, I think more deals should be done. Like, Tommy, if the beautiful people at McDonald's are spending money on the show, right, and they come into commercial radio with a spend, then let's do a deal where every Friday Nova employees get free McDonald's. Just an example.
That's ridiculous.
Turn up at your local Macca's, show your Nova card, and ladies and gentlemen, keep the burgers coming to the big guy in the corner.
All Amazon corporate offices around Australia are dog-friendly, right? So So this one employee said, I have a 4-month-old puppy and he can join the many dogs that come to our office on a regular basis. We're on the 10th floor of Sydney's Amazon headquarters on Market Street. We've got a dog park on the 10th floor.
What?
You can leave them in a dog park.
So they're just pooing on mod grass or sand or something, are they?
How's this one?
It's windy up here. I'm speaking on behalf of the poodles.
The Australian Stock Exchange, ASX Limited, is an accredited breastfeeding friendly workplace with up to 1 hour of paid leave a day for lactation breaks.
Wow. But you have to be a mum, Tom, with a child.
So we can't put you in there with...
So sorry,
got it.
man.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
so sorry.
Nikki's given us a call from Allambie Heights. Tell us about your workplace, Nick.
Oh, well, listen, I don't have a boss. I don't have employees. I work from home. If I want to make a steak at lunch, I can in my kitchen.
Wow.
If I want to go out for a cheeky coffee with a friend,
Freedom.
I can.
What do you
and
do?
if I want to have a nice lunch, I just work for myself. I support families on the NDIS. So,
Right.
So I just, small business, certainly not a big corporate business, but I wouldn't mind a vending machine in my kitchen.
All right, My Muscle
Chef. I just got to think what I'm going to fill it up with.
Yep, great idea.
We'll sort that out, Nikki. Stay on the line. Bill in Bankstown, what's your work perk?
Hey, sorry, I've worked at a lot of places before, but honestly, the way I'm working now, we get obviously a weekly barbecue.
Yep.
We get every month we get bonuses. Every 3 months bonuses.
Yeah.
Which is like $300.
Wow.
Which is like pretty much it's $100 a month. And honestly, that's one of the best.
What do you do, Bill?
I'm a truck driver for Ace Skips and Waste.
Oh, good work,
Right,
Bill.
on the
That's
skip.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's bonding too, Fitz, if you do we have the bar here at Nova too, but if you do sort of the team barbecue on a Friday, that brings everybody together and we all go, you know what we bloody love? We love skips and we love sausages.
Well,
you know what I mean? So bring it in, boys.
We've got an Aldi snack stand right behind me at the moment as well, which
Great idea.
Tom's been getting into the scroggin quite a bit this week, which has been good.
Been murdering it.
I've still got my Mitsubishi deck chair from,
See what I mean?
from the
Work
late
perks.
90s.
Thank you, 3 Diamonds. Benny and Cronulla, you've got a perk. What is it, Ben?
Hey, it's actually my son Xavier in the car. Hang on, Xavier.
Hey.
I work at McDonald's and I've got a 50% discount every time I go in.
50%!
Hey, Benny, who in the family uses it the most?
I'm the one that always picks him up from work, so both of us use it.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
That's not bad.
You'd be pretty popular with your mates, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, I've actually got one of my other mates works there with me, so...
Yeah,
100% off then.
Yeah, it's just that you come home smelling like pickle juice, though, don't you, Benny?
That's it, unfortunately.
I love it.
Done.
All right, great call. We'll come and join you at Macca's very soon. Get half price.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.